Oh, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And yes, Sparky, we were talking, and I almost took your advice, and it would have been a lot of fun.
Good morning, everybody.
But we're not going to go there. So
why not?
We're not going to go there because it's a family show, and then
It's supposed to be a family show.
I got to talk about that.
Well, we could clean it up.
Well, yeah, but you wouldn't have. So anyway, good to see everybody this week. Bill's out on assignment or someplace on his assignment, I guess. Again, hopefully he'll be with us a little more regular when he retires.
Yeah, pretty soon he's going to retire.
Yeah, as far as he says he's going to. Yeah. I'll get the camera right there. Anyway, we don't have a guest today, but Steve did make it in. He wasn't supposed to be here, but he's going to be here for a little bit. So before he disappears, do the rundown, Steve.
Yeah, well, I got to get chat up again. I just had it. Yeah, because I've supposed to take the high school baseball team over to Klamath Falls, and they pushed it back an hour. So I should have been picking them up at 7 right now, and now I got to pick them up at 8. So I got to leave here in about 15 minutes and go do my bus driver thing. So anyway, let's see what we got. We got John Tanzillo. Good morning, Lynn McCurdy, Michael Carville, JD Grandpa Rails, Schuylkill River Valley, John, Rob T-Man, Almar, Gail's in there. Good morning, Gail. Chuck, CDB 1965. I didn't answer your message. You've been gone a while. How you been? Dave Todd. Good morning, Dave. Sparky's here. Good morning, Sparky. Steve Childers. Gerald. Did I say Gerald? Gerald Stewart. I know I missed somebody. Anyway,
Floyd Robbins.
Yeah, no. Floyd, Almar.
That's a new name.
Schuylkill River, John. I see Deep Run Mike. Come on.
Yeah, he's here. Yeah, Chuck, it's good to see you in here again.
Good morning, everybody.
Nice to see you, man.
Nice to see everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how's your buddy that came down to Train Mountain with you? Tell him hello for us. Anyway, I have no idea what we're going to talk about, except maybe trains or something. So Dennis ordered
deep heated conversation about trains.
Yes. So you ordered a kit from Mike. Tell us what kit you ordered.
I ordered the speeder, the little speeder shed. Okay. I figure that will look really good somewhere, either in frying pan or eventually, there will be several different places where it could go. And that'd be a good birthday present for myself.
Will you use it for a speeder shed or something else?
Yeah, I think so. I think it would be really cool next to the turntable in a frying pan. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. I'm not sure if there was a speeder shed in frying pan. Pictures don't prove it, but I figured they probably did. I don't know.
Did they have speeders during your era?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe not speeders, but
hand cars.
The hand cars. Hand cars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you say my era, I think it's a misconception. I think because of the pictures, it's my own fault because of the pictures that I constantly show that I'm using as inspiration. That they're from most of them are probably pre-1920.
Right.
And I'm probably looking more at 1930. I might go as late as 40, maybe during the war, World War II. I haven't decided for sure.
Yeah, I know you're not like 1890s or nothing, but yeah.
No, because and I think I've mentioned it before. If I want to run a K37 on my layout, that I don't remember what year they came out, but we're talking late 20s, early 30s. I think.
Yeah, it would be
The
around.
K28, I think last year had their 100-year anniversary. So 1924 is when the K28 came out, 23 or 24.
He said you got a jig for making mine cribbing too.
Oh, cool. He mentioned in the email that he threw in a jig, but I wasn't sure what the jig was. I was hoping it was for cribbing, because I will be using a lot of cribbing, I think, in my town of Silver Gulch.
So
Yeah.
when you see the cribbing, you'll see it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sounds cool.
Oh yeah, I've made some.
There will be all kinds of retaining walls and cribbing
Yeah.
and stuff in that town, just because of the nature of how I'm going to, build it up.
Oh, and it was huge you get up in the mountains, especially when Steve, my friend here, and not Steve, Ted, my friend here in Tulsa, and I went up to Silverton and did the mining trails on the 4-wheeler. We passed several old cribbing areas that were along the road that are still there. There's nothing up above them that was, built up above them. But any place that had a fairly steep drop off, they would build that cribbing and fill it in with trailings or whatever to hold the earth in place so the mine didn't slide down the hill, or the buildings didn't slide down the hill. So there's a lot of that up around any kind of mining area in the mountains.
I know in one of the photographs that I'm using for Silver Gulch of Black Hawk, Colorado, I forget how many. You can count, like, I think it's more than 10 retaining walls of some kind in that town. So there will be plenty of retaining walls and cribbing and things like that in that area.
I'm gonna see if I can find a picture. I took a picture of that one I'm talking about. So keep talking and I'll see if I can find the picture.
Keep talking.
Keep talking.
Okay. Well, that's not as easy for us as it is for you, Claude.
Well, Steve's pretty good at it.
No. No.
Oh, you didn't see that. I was kind of tonguing. Oh, yeah, you can see me.
Dennis, how did you get your frog juicers working?
Yeah, that's all. I actually ran a train this morning just for fun before I got the link. Just ran some tank cars all the way down to the end of the siding there, and came back in and swapped out the caboose for the tank cars, and everything's working pretty good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Any more runaways?
I had one this morning when I powered up. Yep.
Really?
I don't know what the deal is. I think it's the throttle more than anything else. I'm not to, I don't know what the word is, be snide or anything, but I do not like these throttles for the Digitrax. I don't either. Not happy with that at all. It's virtually never been used, but it constantly will double press. Like if I'm trying to type in a locomotive address, say I want 347, I'll push 3 and I'll get 2 3s.
Yeah.
And then you push the 4 and you've got 3 4. I'm not happy with that throttle. So I think, because it's never happened before, unless I think something is called up on this throttle.
Well, I can't find the picture, so we'll drop that. Yeah, I went and bought one of the Wi-Fi connectors, and I like to do it on my phone now. That throttle is so much clearer than even and I've got the newer, I don't remember what the model number, 602 or something throttle for Digitrax, and it's okay. I like it better than the original throttle.
Has it got the big thumb?
I
Deal on it?
haven't used it in so long. I've been using my phone, so I've forgotten.
I use
think
an
it does.
iPad when I'm serious about it.
It's like the 602D or something like that. But I don't even use it anymore because it's not a wireless. It's a connected one.
Yeah.
But
Eventually, I'll probably get one of those. Is it Train Concepts TCS? Is that right? There's a
Train Control
universal
Systems.
throttle that a lot of people really like. It's Wi-Fi. Eventually, I will probably get one of those, but I'm not going to worry about any of that stuff until I'm a little more serious about operating.
Well, using your phone is pretty easy on it. So that's what I do. Because I used it just the other day when I was checking some track. I've got everything wired up in the yard now. I got the last tortoise put in. I got all the switches going the way I need them to go, which I thought I had downstairs. Well, they got it upstairs and flipped it the other way. Half of them were backwards, so not half of them, but several of them were. I had the Y wired up.
Michael says 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a DCC war.
Yeah, there you go.
And no, I'm not locked in my train room.
See, part of that's not DCC's fault though. That's mostly our fault.
Yeah,
we're screwing it up. Yeah, but yeah, there you go. What are you gonna do? So I know there's a lot of different throttles and stuff out there that people are using. That TCS one is one of them. Somebody else has got a nice one too, but God, they're all so expensive.
That proto throttle.
I think this thing is like, I forget how much, but I'm like, there's no way I would pay that much for that little chunk of plastic.
My original is going to get regulated to the test track in the shop. Is what it'll be.
Will you change that out, Dennis? Will you change to something else?
Well, I don't have any plans to change from Digitrax. If I do, I will go to the.
Well, can't you change? Couldn't you use the proto throttle? You leaving, Steve?
You got to go, Steve.
See, buddy. Have a good day.
Enjoy your day.
Be careful.
Say that again.
Can't you use the proto throttle with your system?
I mean, I could, I think, but I mean, all of mine is Steam, so a proto throttle, if it's what I'm thinking you're talking about, wouldn't be there would be no advantage for me.
Right.
If I've heard that they've either maybe play tested or thought about doing one for Steam. If they did do something like that, I might be interested in that. A little Johnson bar on the side, that might be kind of fun.
Then you can play with your Johnson.
Huh?
Then you can play with your Johnson. Anyway, Steve got us started on that, by the way.
Yeah.
Got bugs in here or something.
Well,
spring.
Jerry, you mentioned in one of your comments to me that you use frog juicers on your in layout.
Yeah.
Where I'm trying to recall ever seeing
your my N scale layout. I have a crossover, and that's where I use them at.
Now I've got two on mine, and I've got the little bitty ones. I guess they're the new ones. They're only about this big, square.
Maybe you have a single or a double.
It's a matter of how many.
Yeah,
mine are both single.
Yeah,
but I've got them on the turnouts. I've got them on the turnouts that don't have moving points. So one of them's going into the cattle pen area on the lower part, and all it does is divide the standard gauge from the narrow gauge, or vice versa.
Yeah, it'd be a great use for them.
Yeah, and I've got one there, and then I've got another spot over where the lumber yard is on the other side of the yard. That's the same kind of turnout there. So that's what I used for that, was just that.
The one that I installed my most recent video, it handled a double crossover on my N-scale layout prior to this one.
John Penzil says the Wi-Fi Tracks WFD30 works with any NCE and Digitrax, so you can use your phone and or the TCS Wi-Fi throttles. Okay.
I've got Wi-Fi, available to me. I generally, when I operate off of my iPad because my old eyes, I prefer
Well,
having large buttons and large numbers to look at.
Yeah, there's a lot of people going to getting older iPads or something and using those for their throttles for everybody. You got a little more room on them too. They're not as small as your phone.
Mm-hmm.
But the Digitrax Wi-Fi hookup works real well. Of course, my room's not that
That's
big.
what I'm using.
So, yeah, it works great.
What it's called.
I've not had more than one person on it at a time, so that may, cause something. I don't know, but most of the time it's just going to be me anyway. Trying to keep up with chat here. These guys are just yakking like crazy. Kind of sound like me at times.
Well, it doesn't actually have a number anywhere on the box, so I can't tell you what it's exactly called, but it's the Digitrax. You just plug it into the wall socket and then plug it into your LocoNet, and then it'll show up, as a string of numbers that you hook your Wi-Fi and your phone to.
Mm-hmm.
So you plan on using your phone most of the time?
Well, eventually I will. I've got a dedicated server. I don't know, a router, I guess, not a server, a router, a dedicated router that I will provide Wi-Fi for the room, and I will eventually use JMRI probably to produce the Wi-Fi on that particular router and then use it instead of the Digitrax. I'm probably not real savvy on exactly how to articulate how that's going to work, but I'm pretty sure I know how it's going to work. I just can't really articulate it.
Oh, what was that?
Cool.
Cool, huh?
Sounded weird. Yeah, you read that? Yeah,
Is that Model Railroad a hobbyist?
hobbyist, I think.
Is that what the H stands for?
I believe so.
I was thinking I was subscribed to that for a while, but maybe I'm not anymore. Because is that the one that has the like a monthly email, more or less, that you get if you're it's an online magazine rather than a physical magazine, if I recall right.
Okay, also has, like I said, they also have a water glass and usage feather. Oh,
What is that for?
that would be cool for Steam.
Oh,
If
really?
that's what he's talking
I'm
about.
trying to think how that would. How would that role play out? If you got like a digital picture of your water level, and so
Yeah, you got to
get to a certain point.
You got to get to a tank before it blows up.
That's interesting. That would add a whole nother level of role playing to your model railroad.
And I would assume you can program that, for how long you want it to be before it runs out.
Yeah, it's like John 26:18 was telling me about. There was a guy that made defect detectors, and it would randomly throw things like Hot Wheel bearing, so many axles back, and you would have to cut the cars and put it off to the side, and
just adds another level of realism.
Yeah, it's like,
and that would be very random.
Yeah, it would be random. You couldn't really.
It might also be very distracting.
It could be, but it's just like railroading. I mean, it's like trains don't constantly run. Sometimes they break down. Yeah.
Sometimes they derail.
Yeah, sometimes they derail too.
Oh,
but
yeah.
That's pretty cool, though. That would be fun to just change something different to add.
Well, if we get a tornado come through, like I sent that picture, that video to you too, didn't I? Of the train crew that's sitting in the cab and the tornado comes at them.
Yeah, that was great.
I think we talked about that afterwards. Yeah, that was.
I would say a locomotive would be about as close as you could get to being safe as a hidey hole underground. If you couldn't get to a hidey hole underground, a big heavy locomotive would.
I've seen them blown over.
You could get.
I've seen them blown over off the tracks from one, but I've never seen one carried away.
Hopefully they would just kind of tip. It's not like they're going to be a cow circling through the air. Or a VW, I don't know.
Next time we go to the train show in Oklahoma City, they got that one module that's got the tornado on it. We got to tell them, you got to glue a couple of cows up in that thing.
I was thinking there was a cow or two in it. Maybe.
Oh, there might be. Yeah, anyway. Okay, Daniel Banks has got something here. There's a guy in Australia doing a brass protothrottle that you can have to enter the number of cars and weight, and it affects how something as simple as starting the train works. Yeah, now see, that's where the guys like Dave Todd and Steve, and anybody else that's been a real locomotive engineer, they would probably get into that because they had to do that. I would have no idea what I had to do to check all that stuff, but
yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
but I'll look more into that kind of stuff when I'm ready to actually operate. Right now, I'm heavy on the build side of things, so
yeah, I'm getting ready. I think I've decided I've got one connection on the upper deck where I cut it in half. Almost all the tracks are fine. They're all lined up just perfectly. I've got one that's just a little higher on one side. And I've been debating on trying to get that down, but it's with those plastic ties, they don't really pull real tight on the rail on the micro,
micro engineering.
Yeah, micro engineering flex track. Those spikes on there are pretty light. And so trying to put something in the spike to pull the rail down, I think what I'm going to do is just weight it down and go ahead and solder across that gap. Because I don't plan on taking it apart. Somebody else.
I guess I don't restate what the issue is.
When I did the upper deck, I had to do it in two pieces so I could get it up there. And so I put it all together as one piece downstairs, and then I cut across the joint where they come apart.
Gotcha.
And I just planned on leaving those gapped because I wired both sides. They're identical on the wiring. But I've got that one spot, and even though the C19 and the cars will go over it, it's a pretty good bump. And so I'm thinking I'm going to weight that down and just solder those rails together. And I may end up doing that whole gap that way. Because I don't plan on taking it apart. It's going to be somebody else's problem. So,
yeah,
but it'll ensure that I don't have a problem there.
I deliberately have made sure that everywhere where I've got, my phone's going crazy. Everywhere where two pieces of plywood join each other, I deliberately made sure that there would be no gaps there just for that reason. Now, it has caused me more work, I will say, because like with all of this, I've got to consider the wiring for the next module while I'm working on this module and where the drops are going to be and how all that works. And, like module 4, I'm still debating on whether or not I want to add one more turnout or not, or if it's going to be on the next module over.
Yeah.
I think it will be, just because I think if I try and put one in there now where it's at, I think I will force some things that don't need to be forced by doing it that way. It would be far more convenient, though.
Yeah.
If I could go ahead and drop that in there.
Yeah, I kind of had that same problem because I wired both of those up separately. Excuse me. Where all I had to do is tie the two the two terminals together. But I still had to leave off one of the tortoises until I got it put together, because even though the turnout's not across the gap, because I had a splice plate under there to splice them together, the tortoise was going to have to be mounted on the bottom of the splice plate. So I couldn't put the tortoise in before I got them together. So that's the one I got in yesterday, not yesterday, day before yesterday. Got up there and finally got that one put in and got everything working good. But that's when I noticed the gap when I was
The thing I'm putting on my splice plates is a splicer for the wiring.
Yeah, well, see, I didn't wire across it, but that tortoise was, because it was under the splice plate, coming up through the splice plate, I had to wait until it was finished before I did that. But I got it done. So now the only wiring I have underneath to do is the lighting and then the lights for the buildings, which should be relatively easy to do.
Have you guys ever had Joe Rader on?
Not while I've been on, I don't think.
I don't know, Joe. If we had you on, I lose track anymore. Who's been on who hadn't?
Hey Joe, have you ever been on back on track?
We had you on. I was thinking we did have him on at one time. Yeah, we did have him on. Okay.
Okay.
I thought we did. And you're welcome to come back sometime.
What about Dave from Crooked River? Have we ever had him on? I don't know maybe he works on Saturdays. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't.
Because he's one, I'd like to have him on sometime.
Yeah.
Has he been in the show, in the chat?
I don't.
No, I've never seen him.
No, he has, but
Has he?
He's very rarely ever in the chat. If he does watch, he doesn't chat much.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could watch later, but I've never seen him.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is a lot of people work at this time, or they have other commitments and stuff,
or they're actually working on the railroad, which is usually what I do.
Doing something productive besides watching us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's only an hour. It's not that bad. Well, Joe, if you want to come back up, come back up. I'm sure you got some new stuff on your layout.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody wants to be on, just send us an email. Yeah. Send us an email and to Back on Track Moderators at gmail.com. All one word, of course. But yeah, if you want to be on, let us know and we'll get you on. We've got, let's see what, let me pull up my calendar here, because I'm going to be gone the 1st of June and the 9th of June.
That's coming, but is the show not going to be on, or you're going to do it, Dennis?
The 1st and 8th.
We haven't completely decided yet.
What's coming up? It's not far.
Yeah, it's 2
because I know
3 weeks. I'll be gone in
I've got
3 weeks.
I've taken 2 weeks off in June, but I think they are the following 2 weeks of. I think Claude and I are 2 weeks apart. There might be a week of sharing. I can't remember, but we'll just have to.
Well, we'll still be on when Dennis is gone because I'll be here, so we can still do that. I leave again the weekend of the 4th. Oh, let's see. Let me find out when that is. Be 4th of July, wouldn't it? June, July. Yeah, I'll be gone the 6th of July for one. That's just one weekend though. Well, probably what we may do on 4th of July is just take that week off so people can camp and family stuff and all that. The 4th is on like a Thursday, so we'll probably just take that weekend off.
It'll be perfect for me because I'm off on Fridays anyway. So
yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, Dennis will be the one. Dennis and Jerry and Steve will be the one to decide whether or not you're going to do stuff while I'm gone. But when you're gone, Dennis will go ahead and still have the show.
Okay.
Steve and I probably, well, I assume Steve will be here. He might be driving his
driving a bus.
He might be driving his new job by then. And we won't say any more about that.
Limo driver Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, the stories we will get.
Yes, well, I can imagine. You guys will find out soon enough, I'm sure. Well, Steve tell you though. I'm not going to say it.
I don't think I want to hear those stories.
No, I don't either. Oh, anyway. So what else we got going on?
Well, let me just kind of show you where I'm at.
Okay.
Since we don't have anything else going on, I'll just kind of do a little walk around here. Okay, so this is what the subject was of my last upload,
Your
is
frog
dropping
juice.
that in and making sure that this particular track right here, that's the track that swaps polarity. So
So
that,
Dennis, that little section that's cut out, is that going to be water?
yeah, that's going to be Maroon Creek.
Cool. And you're going to
So
build the trestle there?
yeah, they're actually this, because you can see this piece of track here will also cross right here. So there'll be two little
Trestles, huh?
bitty bridges there. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
cool.
what they're going to look like yet, but then, you know, the High Line comes across here and there will be a higher trestle right there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's going to look good. I can't wait till this sucker starts getting some scenery on it.
Yeah.
I've
It's
got
going to be impressive.
Nice. You
I've
painted
got
your board.
module fours. Do what?
You painted your sky.
Well, that's been painted there.
No, I mean like your boards.
Oh,
Your
yeah,
boards.
the underneath boards. I haven't decided if I'm going to paint these or not yet because you really can't see them. So I probably won't. I don't know. Let's go out to the garage, the shed, the shop.
What's the blue lines on your floor? Your aisleway?
That's
Ask Gail.
that's to make sure that Gail doesn't get too far astray from anywhere in the room. She likes to push buttons and touch things and break things.
Huh?
Very, very haphazard kind of
Yeah,
situation.
Gail's regulated to staying between the blue lines.
Yeah.
Oh, you're kidding.
So here's a little bit of what this is a test run
That looks good.
just to see if I can carve my own rocks. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if I like it or not yet, but
But you'll get better as you go.
yeah, I hope.
Hey, Dennis, I got plenty of rock molds I can send you.
Well, I mean,
You want to
maybe.
do that plaster?
Let's see. So this is module 3, which I've got no videos on any of this. I've done this all just I've done updates on my community tab and YouTube just to kind of let everybody know where I'm at. But this whole thing is complete now. And I've got block detection. Yeah, she's right. I've got block detection that comes all the way and goes back to the corner in there. And everything, I haven't tested any of it yet. I'm hoping that this works. I will find out. I don't know. I might test it before the end of the weekend. It just kind of depends. But it's ready to test. And then it connects right here to this section. And you can see this is where it's going to connect. And I've got right now I've only got 3 turnouts on module 4 here. And they're pretty much ready to go. I haven't laid the track yet. I've just got the tortoises put in. So after the show's over, this will get flipped over. I'll lay the track, or at least the turnouts anyway, and then kind of consider what else needs to be done with it. Because where the track goes, it actually, you know, comes through here and then goes off the board that way. I haven't, you know, that trackage doesn't need to be completed yet, but I do want to kind of figure out where the cork is going to go, and I'm kind of running low on cork. I haven't decided how I'm going to do that yet, and I may just leave it alone. I may just put the track there and cork it at a later date and then lay the track at a later date. I think I can get away with that. So that's kind of where I'm at on the overall build. But I do plan on doing scenery stuff in here. I'm going to work on this a little bit at a time, doing some testing, and I have shot some video of what I'm doing in there, just to kind of eventually throw some stuff up that's not wiring and bench work and track.
What are you using to carve your foam?
Well, I've got, several different things. Like this is not foam, of course.
Oh, it's not? What is it?
This is just plaster.
So what do you do? Just slap a bunch of plaster on and carve it?
Yep, that's exactly what I did.
Oh, okay.
And I did film a little bit of it, but it was kind of hard to film. But the next thing I'm going to do in here is paint and weather the track. I think I'm going to do that before I do much of anything else. And then eventually, what's going to take place on the backdrop is going to kind of be dependent on what I think, because I've got 2 or 3 different ideas of what I want this to look like. It's going to be a matter of what looks the best, because one idea is that I can have all of this similar to this. There's lots of areas where you're right next to a solid cliff wall. I could do that. And then I've got another idea where the profile looks a little more like this, with trees sticking out of it and kind of an embankment that hangs over.
Yeah.
I really like the way that looks. And then instead of rock face, you've got trees, through there. So I'm going to do a little test of both of those.
A lot of
ideas.
Trees. That's a
and
lot of
combination of both.
It's a lot of trees, though.
One thing, Dennis, just mind your clearance.
Yeah.
Because you'll lose it real quick starting to put scenery in there.
Yes.
The sheer rock face is easy to clear. It's when you start adding other stuff like bushes and stuff like that.
Yeah, which is why I've done this right here, is to see what the minimum, or I guess you could say the maximum distance I need to be from the track, is that this probably needs to go in a little more. But right now, everything clears without any problem at all. That's definitely something I'm keeping track of as I go.
Yeah. Yeah, don't ask me how I know that. But yeah, it's, the nice thing about if you do it out of plaster, and you do have to carve away a little bit to make clearance, because you got, something's hitting on one of the particular engines you've got, or rolling stock, whatever. If it's plaster, it's easy to carve out and then recolor. It's with foam.
The advantage of this is I can go in on my foam cutter and I can take away easily another 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch from the foam, and it'll sit right back in there.
I kind of like that idea, though, Dennis. That's looks pretty simple to do.
Another thing that I'm gonna do, or at least experiment with, is putting a mirror here. I've already done it with. I don't have a mirror, but I used my phone. Your phone, when it's blacked out, kind of acts as a pretty good mirror. I was able to put my phone in here, and I think that will be a nice effect. From right here, you won't end up being in any of the reflection, and then it reflects all the way back through here. So I think that's going to be a pretty cool way of handling that corner. Get a small mirror, and then put some, I don't know, like a paper cutout of trees and stuff that will match. If I can get some trees in here just to kind of help obscure and make this not easily seen except for a little bit of the track.
But that's a dead end, right? That's
Yeah.
a dead end. Not going nowhere. Nothing's coming from it.
Exactly. All this is a single staging track that will add a little bit of operating interest as an interchange for Maroon Creek.
Right.
If you do back a train in there, it's going to look like the train goes on for,
Right.
a distance as well.
Lynn McCurdy wants to ask why not a tunnel portal.
Well, I've considered a tunnel portal, and I'm not saying I won't do that. It might end up working better along with a tunnel portal and a mirror. I don't know. That might work, but I also kind of like the idea of trees and just making it look like, if you do it right, you just extend the view way beyond its actual distance.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mirrors placed in the right spots can really add to a layout. I know when I went to see the Railroad Museum up in Colorado, the Model Railroad Museum in Colorado, up in Greeley, they used it in one spot in the city, and it makes like the city's like, huge compared to what it actually is on the layout. Now it's a pretty good spot on the layout too, but having that mirror back behind it sure enhanced the depth perception there.
Yeah. Is it Dawn on the Dawn's probably not the right name. It's escaping me. Toy Man.
Oh, his
Toy
wife?
Man too.
I think his wife's name is Karen.
Karen, yeah.
Oh.
Doesn't he have a huge mirror like up high on the back side of one of the coves just inside of his, is it like 1/124 scale? I can't remember, but it's been a while since he's updated anything, or at least I haven't seen anything recently.
Yeah, and I haven't seen
that extends his entire, it just makes it look like you're looking forever.
Yeah, I haven't seen his channel in a while, so I haven't had a chance to get over and look at it.
Unless I'm misremembering who did it, but he's done a couple of different things with mirrors. Because one, he's got like a little mine track, I think, that disappears, similar to what Dave over at the Thunder Mesa did. There's lots of people that have done it. John Allen was famous for it,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about.
In one of his, he had like in-scale buildings, like across the room. The mirror is re-imaging in-scale buildings from across the room, and it looks like you're looking at a town, 15, 20 miles away. But
Yeah.
you can't see the town from anywhere else on the model railroad. You can only see the reflection of it as trains go by this way or whatever, and is really cool.
You're talking about Toy Man TV, right?
I think that's the name of the channel.
Yeah, Toyman. Yeah, Toyman.
It's got the little blue jet that comes through at the beginning of.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's red. I can't remember.
Perfecting the art of screwing around.
Older guy.
It's kind of motto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not talking. Floyd Robbins said fishy. He's not talking about Ron.
No, it's not
Man.
fishy.
Yeah.
No.
That's a different Toy Man.
The Dale and Karen, yeah, with Toyman TV. I think you're right, Dennis. I think he did put a mirror somewhere, but it's been, God, I hate to say it, it's been way too long since I've been over there and seen any of this stuff, and because they're coming along and it's getting to be nice weather out again. They'll be out working on the Garden Railroad again.
Yeah, it's Toyman Television is the name of the channel, and he's got it's a little red like Jetson's jet with a blue background.
Yeah.
Where's he from?
He lives
in Arizona, I think. Either Arizona
Utah.
or Southern California. Oh, is it Utah?
Salt Lake City area. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where, but they're from the Salt Lake City. Well, that's where they live now, in the Salt Lake City area. I don't know exactly, what location, but I know that's where he's at because they're all the time driving. She's from South Central Utah, is where Karen's from. I don't know where Dale's originally from, but
Dale. That's
Dale,
right.
yeah.
I
He
was
was
trying
in-
to call him Don, and it's Dale. Yeah.
He was in LA for a long time because he was doing sound for movies and stuff. And he got laid off, and that's when he decided to move up there and start doing what he's doing now. So,
Yeah, he's got a elevated garden railroad, and it comes into, I believe, either a shop or a garage.
yeah.
And one of the corners in there or something, he's got a mirror that it's a pretty good size mirror.
But they collect all kinds of toys and stuff, older stuff he's had for years and years and years in storage, and he'll bring it out every once in a while and show it. So it's a very entertaining channel to see. I know here lately he's been doing a lot of electrical stuff with his layout and showing how stuff's done. So
Yeah, I'm not subscribed to him. It's pretty cool.
yeah, he's got a pretty good channel.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty big channel too, if I remember right. I can't remember how many subscribers.
Oh yeah, they're excuse me.
Over
Yeah, they're doing pretty well.
over 60,000.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. He's been around a while.
But they're pretty diverse on what they like. They like cars and stuff like that. He's got some Mustangs and
Yeah, I think he's an old rat rodder or something like that.
yeah. Well, they go to the Rat Fink reunion. That's where they met, which is really interesting. But yeah, because when I lived in Southern California, Rat Fink stuff, on the models and stuff was huge. Hot rod. What do you call it? Not memorabilia, but anyway, they did, that guy that started Rat Fink did a lot of pinstriping originally on hot rods, hand pinstriping, stuff like that. And he knew him. Dale knew the guy really well. But they go to that reunion every year, and they always have a show on it when they do it too. So if you're interested in finding out what Rat Fink is, if you don't already know, I think most of us older guys know that for sure. Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah, it's a good channel. If you've not been over there, go see him. Yeah, Big Daddy Roth, Lynn. That was his name, or what he went by. But I was into hot rods and stuff like that when I lived in California. So I built a lot of car models and stuff like that. And of course, I was young, but that was huge in California at the time, Southern California. Okay, what else we got here? Daniel says he wasn't aware of this channel. I'm assuming he's talking about Toy Man. Certainly my kind of modeling with Old West stuff. Thanks for mentioning the channel. I'm assuming you're talking about Toy Mans, but yeah, it's a good channel for pretty much anything modeling that you like. And Karen does some phenomenal stuff with buildings like flats to make them look like they're really deep inside. And of course, they're working in G scale, so it makes it a little easier to do that. But she did some really neat design stuff inside the building to make it look like it was really, really deep through the window.
So he's all just G scale.
That's what he's doing right now, but he's got a lot of HO stuff. Probably has N scale stuff.
That's what he's
collecting for years.
modeling. But what they do is they go out on, I don't know what you call adventures, so to speak of, where they will visit other people's model railroads. They will go to, forget that there's one place, I think it's in Utah. I can't remember, where Dirt the Cat, Dirt has passed on.
That was Nevada. That was out there where Bernard lives. Northern Arizona Railroad, yeah.
Yeah, they just go around and do a pretty good job of documenting other people's railroads and live model or live railroad themed stuff. And generally it's more around steam, I would say, than modern equipment, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they won't.
Right.
They'll go on a train trip. They'll do that. They went to Seattle, or not Seattle, but up in Oregon, Northwest, to a big steam event up there and did 2 shows on it. Then they stopped at some hotels and stuff, some really old Victorian style hotels that they stayed in, and did videos on that. So they went to Indianapolis or Minneapolis or someplace. There's some big collector that collected organs and calliope kind of organs that a circus would have. And they had this building, and they went up there and they showed that. So they do a wide variety of collector stuff and modeling, but it's mainly modeling and mainly trains in that vein. But it's amazing all the stuff he's collected and gotten in his collection up there. I'd love to rummage through and see what all he's got, because he's got way more than he can ever show everybody in the time he's got left. I know. I don't know how old he is, but he's not a spring chicken. He's probably at least my age, if not older. Anyway.
Sounds like a pretty cool channel.
Yeah, I'd love to get him on the channel, and I haven't asked him, but we're kind of small potatoes here compared to his channel. He doesn't need the publicity.
Yeah.
But it would be fun to get him one-on-one and talk to him, one-on-one.
Well, you never know.
I may have to approach him, see if I can get him to do that. It'd be fun to do.
Yeah.
Oh, Wigwag. Yeah, Wigwag found his channel searching slot cars. Yeah, they do that too. Plastic models, slot cars. Just about anything you can think of modeling wise.
So anything like toy, like it sounds like he does like not just trains.
Oh, it's not just trains. That's the main thing probably. But
that's the reoccurring theme for sure. But they kind of branch out to other subjects,
Right?
just kind of on what they have going on. I assume they're both retired and have enough to kind of travel around and do what they want and document.
Evidently, and of course, I don't know. They may be making pretty good money off of YouTube by now.
Could be.
So if you go over and watch the show or watch this channel, watch it all the way through. They're not usually very long, because I know that helps them with what they get paid. And
I think they upload every Sunday morning.
They upload like 2 or 3 times a week.
Do they?
They do, yeah, or at least they used to. I know he does like a Sunday morning one, and then Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday they would do a modeling corner or something like that, where he'd pull something off the shelf and show what he had in his collection. And then they might do something where they were working on something else, where they were working on something, or doing a trip on a different day. He's got so much content in there. You'd be hard pressed to watch it all, but it's pretty cool. Some of the stuff he goes to see. They go down to, what is that little town in southwestern Utah on the way to Vegas? It's on the highway on the way to Vegas.
Needles?
No, it's in Utah.
Promontory?
St. George, Utah. They go down there every year. They have a train festival kind of thing, and there's a lot of outdoor garden railroads there, and they go show that. So if you're interested in garden railroading, they show a lot of that kind of stuff. But anyway, how much time we got? We got about 6 minutes left. Okay, John, have a good one.
See you, John.
John Skillcool Rivers got to leave. Yeah, it's good to see everybody in here. We do appreciate you guys showing up every week. I know I have a lot of fun doing this, and I think the other guys do too, or they wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Sometimes I got to go back and watch the show again, and then find stuff I didn't see the first time we did it, because I'm looking the wrong direction. But I know I have a lot of fun doing this, and get a lot of laughs out of it after the fact. Daniel doesn't have a channel. What's the problem, Daniel? Oh, somebody's asking you about. Can you put? Oh, Hot Dog Andy's asking for Daniel's channel. Daniel doesn't have a channel. Why is this, Daniel?
He has an account. We could put the link in for his account, right?
Sure, yeah. We'll put his phone number in there if we got it.
Daniel, why don't you make a couple videos on your layout?
Too much stuff to get done making videos. Yeah, that's
Done.
true. Because unless you just shoot it and put it up there raw, if you do any editing, that's what takes all the time.
Just shoot a video. Don't worry about editing.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be long. Let people see what you're doing.
Do it like Mike McCarville does. You know, just turn it on and start yapping. He's not even in here to take that, is he? Golly.
No, he left something on upstairs, is what he said right before he left.
He said he left something on upstairs. That sounds like honeydew stuff he had to do.
Yeah, probably.
I can tell you that there are a ton of Daniel Banks on YouTube because I haven't found him yet.
Don't edit. We love bloopers. or take all the bloopers out and put them on one reel. That's always fun too. Yeah, like Lynn does. Just shoot it and put it up. Don't edit.
Yeah. Don't worry
That's
about
the
it.
easy way.
Yeah.
I have to edit mine so Dennis doesn't get sick, because otherwise he can't watch it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. There are so many really good channels out there that I would like to watch that I just can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking that when you went over to show us what you'd been doing, and you took the camera out, and you're going, and I'm thinking, I know he's not looking at his phone because he's sick halfway out.
It's a little different if I'm looking through, you know, and I'm moving around. That doesn't seem to bother me. But like when I can remember when I first found out that I couldn't do moving videos. It was back in high school. My girlfriend in high school did some kind of cheesy project for a speech class or something, and they filmed this thing that happened, and I watched it, and literally about 7 or 8 minutes into it, I went to the bathroom and threw up because the video jerked around that. And at the time, I wasn't sure why I got sick. It just, I get hot, and I get nauseous, and then I throw up. And then later on in life, I figured out that it has to do with my eyes. But like when I'm walking with the camera, I think it's because my eyes can train what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
But when it's the other way around and someone else's
you're trying to focus, right? You're trying to focus on something.
And you can't.
And you can't. So it's like I talked about it in the video that I just did about guys shooting trains and they're too close to it and they shoot at these angles that you can't watch it, and they're moving their camera because like you're trying to focus and you can't focus. And so it's like I can't deal with this. Like it's like
the professional product part of it doesn't bother me because we're not professional videographers.
No.
It's just the literal my physical inability to, and I won't name any names, but there's a lot of guys out there that have fantastic railroads, have a lot to offer.
So
unfortunately, I can't sit through 5 minutes of their content because it will literally make me sick.
I don't think people realize how much just a little bit of movement in your camera, phone, video, whatever, amplifies things. Like it's just like 10 times. Like, and the more you zoom into something, the worse it is.
Yes. Yeah. The more standoff you have, the
yes.
better off. That's why I try everything with a tripod.
Yeah. It's just
even if you just spin, you know, if you're not moving up and down as you spin, that's not too bad. But the faster you spin, the worse it is.
Yeah.
It's really the up and down, I think, that gets me more than anything else.
So I think the big problem with that is you see something as they're moving and you want to focus on that, and yet they're still going. And
Yeah. You're trying to catch up to it. And it's like,
it's motion sickness. It's not any
Yeah.
different than being in a car and reading a book. Your inner ear is telling you
I don't
you're
get
doing
motion
something,
sickness in a car.
but the eyes
yeah,
aren't.
yeah. No, I totally understand what you mean. I mean, it's yeah.
Well, with that, we'll let Dennis go throw up, and we're through our hour again, guys.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a good
Thanks
weekend.
everybody in chat for being here. You guys have a good rest of your weekend and a good week, and we'll be here back next week with hopefully with Corey from Mojave. No, not Mojave. Anyway, I can't remember.
Somebody.
Anyway,
I'm pretty
you
sure
know
I
who he is.
won't be
I know you
here.
guys know him. Do what?
I won't be here next weekend. I'll be in Canton Lake doing a family reunion kind of
I
thing.
won't be here either because I'll be at the Sparky meet and greet Saturday morning.
Depending on
Oh,
what's going
yes.
on that morning, I
Yeah.
might watch and be in chat, but I don't think I'll
Yeah.
join the show
Okay.
because I have no idea what's going to go on.
Well, Jerry, I'll send you the link anyway, and if you've got a way
Yeah,
of
send me the link. Yeah,
getting
maybe
in,
I'll pop on.
pop in and
Show you around.
show everybody. And
Show you around. See everybody.
Jerry and Dennis and Steve, wherever you are, Steve. Thank you. Steve, I'm sure Steve will probably be here next week. Maybe. I may have to have a guest on just to have somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
We'll see if I can torture somebody out of chat.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks
Yeah,
guys
bye.
for being here. We'll see you next week.